And to her it was given to be dressed in fine linen. And to her it was given to be dressed in fine linen. This is important also for the many, those who are killed and then resurrected, justified, and enter as the people. They are dressed in white robes, which represent perfect bodies without sin, without the inclination to do evil. Even the bodies of the martyrs, those who died for the name of Yahweh and for his testimony, they will receive white robes. So pretty much those who have to die to enter receive white robes, because their dying is them washing their robes in the blood of the Messiah. So white robes for those who have died, both martyrs who will be pretty much kings also, and the people who will be those who will serve in the temple, as we see in Revelation 7, white robes. Yet the bride, as we always see in weddings, the bride is the one that dresses the best. She gets the best dress, and that is fine linen in scriptures. So that means fine linen is um, the clothing that represents the body that the chosen few will receive during transformation. So in a way, it can also be said to be um, better or of a higher level than that of those the bodies of the many. So the bodies of the chosen few, who are the bride, will be better than the bodies of those who are the many and didn't accept the name. For the many dressed in white robes, the bride in fine linen. So I repeat, just like in a wedding, the bride is always dressed the best. And if somebody were to enter dressed like the bride, she would have trouble. So that is also a representation of the fact that the chosen few will receive higher or more powerful bodies, and they will receive a higher um, level or authority or place in the kingdom as kings and priests, while the many will be the people of the kingdom. And another thing about that, which is important, because a lot of people, for instance, once again, going back to Christianity, they believe they are the bride. Christians believe they are the bride. And I already said regarding certain of the doctrines that are wrong in Christianity, but another one, and a way in which we can kind of make it clear for them that they don't know what they claim to believe in, for they cannot defend it, is the fact that we see in the new covenant here, and also in the gospels, the good news, that Messiah talks about a parable or several parables that are connected to weddings, and speaks about those who will be invited to the wedding. So there will be people invited to the wedding, and there, once again, the Christians, when they see that parable, they claim they are those who are invited to the wedding. Yet one could question, are you the bride or he who is invited to the wedding? Because if the congregation is the bride, then those who are invited are other people. It's that simple. Because people will go being invited to the wedding to see the bride celebrating the marriage with the lamb. My point is that they don't really know who they are. And that separation is very important and clear throughout scriptures. The chosen few are the bride, and Yahweh invites the many who died and resurrected to be justified to be at the wedding and see Mashiach marrying his bride, the chosen few. Obviously, there won't be any envy anymore. Thankfully, there won't be any hate towards that which is good. So they will be happy to be invited. They will be glad. They will rejoice. But while that hasn't happened and we are still in this body, we can use that in order to make them want to be the bride instead of those invited, for it's obviously a higher spot in the kingdom, in the sense that we should strive for more. We should, like Paul said, we should run the race hoping to get there first, to get the trophy, to be the best in our spiritual life, and not in the sense of competing with others, but competing with ourselves to be better tomorrow than we are today, and comparing with Messiah to know how we should act and how much we still have to go, instead of how people commonly do, looking at others around and judging themselves better, and therefore thinking that there's not anything for them to do, for they are already better than those around them. So going back to number 8, and to her it was given to be dressed in fine linen. She was given something special, different than the rest, which is also important. And if you guys remember Genesis, when Joseph manifests to his brethren as being their brother, whom they thought was lost or dead, and Benjamin was there, before he did everything, he gave everybody food, but Benjamin 5 times what he gave everybody. And still also, when he gave him clothing, he received a bunch of things. So, and I mean more than the rest of the brethren. Benjamin is the last of the children of Jacob. So he represents the last generation, pretty much the few of the last generation who will enter the kingdom and will receive an extra portion than the rest. So Joseph is the ancestor of the last. In the blessings of Genesis 49, we see a lot of things, but one of those that Yahweh would manifest through Yehuda and then through Joseph. Joseph and Benjamin are the 2 last children mentioned in the prophecy of Genesis 49. Joseph represents the last, the one who is coming as the witness like Moshe. And then Benjamin can be seen, if we see him as a singular person, would be the other witness, but also represents the chosen few. So it would be Joseph coming for the chosen few to take him to the kingdom and to the wedding. So Benjamin received a lot more than the rest, and also robes for him to get dressed, just like we see here. And to her it was given to be dressed in fine linen, clean and bright. Clean, because finally Yahweh will take completely all sin from us in every sense. Like he has already forgiven us, but we still feel the enemy accusing us. We still feel the flesh telling us to fall, to slip, to to do things wrong that we shouldn't do. So we are still fighting, because while we are in the flesh, we are in a spiritual war. But in that time, there will be no war at all. There will be no struggle in our mind to praise Yahweh, to do what's right, to be who we are supposed to be. So to her was given to be dressed in fine linen, clean and bright. Bright, for also like I said, it will be clear who the bride is, and she will also shine like her husband, for they will be one, and he is the light. So it says, and to her it was given to be dressed in fine linen, clean and bright. For the fine linen is the righteousness of the set apart ones, pretty much the righteous deeds of the set apart ones. So through what the chosen few who are the set apart ones do, they end up receiving the honor to be dressed in greater bodies during the transformation than the bodies of the many when they are resurrected.